All right, so hello everybody. My name is William Du. I'm an incoming seventh grader at CVMS. I go to X Camp CS 202A. I'm about to go to CS 300, and my email is dewilliam07@gmail.com. Right there. Okay, so today I'm gonna be talking about BFS versus DFS. So BFS, if you don't know, is breadth first search. So breadth first search is basically you go through breadth. So you go by like layer one. Let's call this layer one. Let's call this layer. It goes all the way over here. Layer two. Let's call this layer three. Alright, so what breadth first search does, or BFS does, is first it checks the top level, then from this top node, it basically has a queue, which is basically like a vector, but the front always gets popped and the back is where elements enter. And so basically it goes to these three elements, so this is numbered one, and then it goes to these three elements, so it checks these three elements 2, 3, and 4. And then after that, it goes to the next layer, which is the third layer, which is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so these basically are the 10 like this is the ordering, so it goes through the first layer first, and then it goes through the second layer, and then it goes to the third layer. So BFS is really good for like these like maze problems where you have to like optimize how short your path is. So it'll guarantee that if you find a path, it is the shortest path, which depth first search or DFS does not do. So basically DFS is basically go as far as you can and then come back to the next available one. So you still start at the top layer, but then you go as far as you can. So one, two, three, but now there's no other node here, right? You can't go there anymore. So you have to come back there and then you have to go back down. So this is going to be four. And then after that, there's no way to go. So you go back up, and then right here, there's no other place to go. Go back up. And then so from here, right now, one, so you go back down here. And so this is five. And then so same process. You go to this node, and then this node does not have another one to go to. So now this one is six. And then so it goes back because it has no other node to go to. It's stuck. So you go back to five, and you go down again. And so now you have six. Now you have seven, my bad. Uh, and then so from seven, you also have no other place to go. So you go back up again, and then you go back up because from five right here, you have nowhere else to go. Okay, so now as like the same process for both of these, then now you have eight, nine, and then from nine you have to go back. So and then you go here, so it's 10. Yeah, so this is DFS. DFS basically checks all possible solutions. So if you have like a 3x3 grid, then DFS will check like let me draw a solution. DFS will check every single possible solution, and if it gets stuck, then if it gets stuck like I don't know like that, then it just gets stuck and it ends. But sometimes it's not really efficient because it could go like this without even hitting. So and you have no way to know that your path, even if it hits, like if you had this path going first, unluckily, you couldn't end your program, right? But BFS you can guarantee that the first point you hit that's actually correct is the optimal solution. So, BFS might seem better here, but DFS, the total amount of ways is actually more useful because think if you had a path where you could go like you could go backwards, you could go that way, and you could go back up, then BFS can't do that because then BFS goes like this, right? It checks one depth and then it checks the second layer, and then it checks the third layer, and then so on, right? But then this fourth layer would be going back to this third layer, so then you would have to add 3's count to 4, but then you would have to add this back again, which is really hard for a program to do accurately and most importantly efficiently. So depth first search is better for that, where there's like we have to find all of the possible, like the number of ways for each point to go to. But BFS is better for like optimizing if you want to find the shortest distance from, like, if this was blocked and this was blocked from here to here, then BFS would find the fastest solution. So yeah, that's all I really have for BFS versus DFS. Oh, and something else, breath research is like water pouring from like a point. It's pouring down at each successive time it pours down like evenly. But depth research is kind of like a really dumb Roomba that just goes forward, and then once it hits the wall, it turns and goes somewhere else. Yeah. So that's all I have.